Hey guys, it's Miss Castillo here. We hope you're doing well. Miss you, hope to see you soon. And today we have comparing different versions of folk tales, fables, and fairy tales. Now, what is a folk tale? I've realized many of you cannot remember what folk tales, fairy tales, or fables are. So, a folk tale is a story that's with no known author. Folk tales are passed down from one generation to another by word of mouth, which means through talking or oral language. Different folk tales are told all over the world. So folktale is very different because they weren't written down. So someone would say a story to somebody else, and then that person might really like it, so they would share it with somebody else by saying it out loud. And if you forget something, well, you just kind of add your own version in there, right? What is a fable? Normally, it's short, written a long time ago. Characters are animals that act like humans. Setting is usually outside, and it teaches you a moral. So if you look at the picture here, the ant and the grasshopper, the tortoise and the hare, the lion and the mouse, those are all versions of fables. Some of them which you've read. What is a fairy tale? That is a story that includes a special beginning, such as once upon a time. There's good versus evil. There's usually magic or special powers. A lot of times there's royalty, which is kings, queens, princesses, and princes. There's talking animals or talking creatures, as in fairies. Things come in groups of 3s or 7s. That was just a quick recap on what those are. Alright, now let's get started. So comparing different folktales. Why do we have different versions, you might ask? Well, as I said before, when being retold, people would change bits and pieces to things they could relate to, making their own adaptations newer or funnier, and so on. Why are they different? Well, mostly because of cultures. So people's beliefs, traditions, values, and more would be integrated into stories. Example, for Little Red Riding Hood. Since I am Mexican and Salvadorian, I might change the language to Spanish and the items in the basket to foods my family would make for when someone is sick, like caldo de pollo, which is chicken soup, and honey with lime tea. Now, I'm going to share with you the original version because we're going to compare, since we know what that is when we see the differences and the similarities of stories. We're going to read the original version of Little Red Riding Hood, and then we're going to read a different version, okay? So, long, long ago, there was once a little girl named Little Red Riding Hood. She lived in the forest with her family. One day, Mom told Little Red that her grandma was sick and to please drop off a basket of goodies for her. The goodies were in a basket. Little Red peeked inside and saw pies, fruits, breads, and jams inside. Mom told Red to go straight there and not to talk to strangers. Little Red agreed and was on her way to Grandma's house. Everything was fine until she heard a rustle in the woods and saw a wolf come out. "Where are you going, little girl?" he asked. Little Red explained she wasn't allowed to talk to strangers and was in a rush to Grandma's house. That was a mistake. The wolf decided to trick her and said there was a shortcut nearby, convincing Red to follow it while he raced to Grandma's house to eat her. As soon as he got to Grandma's house, he pretended to be Red until Grandma let him in. In one swallow, Grandma was in the wolf's stomach. He then dressed up in her clothes and waited in bed for Little Red Riding Hood to come. Red arrived and said, "Grandma, what big ears you have!" The wolf responded, "They're to hear you better, my dear." "Grandma, what big eyes you have!" "They're to see you better," he quietly growled. "Grandma, what big teeth you have!" Red screamed. "They're to eat you better," the wolf shouted as he lunged towards Red. Thankfully, a woodsman was nearby and heard the ruckus. The woodsman caught the wolf and opened him up enough to get Grandma out. The wolf ran away and was never seen again. So that's one version that we're going to read today. Now the next version is Blaine Jeffries' version. So it was retold by Blaine Jeffries. Illustrated by Nora Baptist. This is called Little Red's Secret Sauce. Now, we just read the original version, or one of the original versions that we found or heard of. Now, I want you to think about what's different in this one and what's the same in this one, okay? So Little Red's secret sauce. Once upon a time in the southwestern desert, already something different, setting, there lived a coyote. He wasn't very big, he wasn't very small, but he was very, very mean. The mean medium coyote loved all kinds of yummy foods, but he was much too lazy to cook. He often stole food from his neighbors, but what he enjoyed most was tricking people into giving him the delicious meals they had worked hard to prepare. Does it sound very nice? One day, the mean medium coyote was walking down the trail when a delicious smell filled the air. "I smell chili," he said, sniffing happily. "It has pinto beans, red onions, green peppers, and black olives. Only one person in the Southwest makes such a tasty chili. That person was Little Red. Her spicy chili was her best dish." The coyote stopped Little Red as they passed on the trail. "Where are you going in the desert with a pot of chili?" asked the coyote. Then he thought to himself, "How can I get some?" "I'm going to my Grammy's house," Little Red told the coyote. "She's sick in bed with a fever. My spicy chili will help her sweat it out." The mean medium coyote's mouth watered from the smell. He wanted that spicy chili. He needed that spicy chili. So he came up with a really mean plan. "I will take Granny's place." To make sure he would arrive at Granny's house before Little Red, he told her about a shortcut through that desert. But the shortcut was really a long cut. The mean medium coyote raced to Granny's house. He grabbed poor, sick Granny, shoved her into the tool shed, locked the door, and threw away the key. Then he put one of Granny's nightgowns and jumped into her bed. "The chili will be mine, all mine," he cried cheerfully. "I hope there is sour cream in the house." So we see some similarities. I don't know if you've noticed. So we do have Little Red. We do have Grandma. Grandma is sick. That's why she's going to give her a goodie. It's not the same goodie. And we don't have a wolf. We have a coyote this time. The setting, as I said, is different. In the first one, it was the forest. In this one, it is the desert. Very good. Okay? Coyote's plan to trick Little Red might have worked, but he forgot that the tool shed was full of tools. Granny used the tools to break out of the shed. When Little Red finally arrived at Granny's house, Granny told her what had happened. Little Red was furious when she heard what the coyote had done to her Granny. She said, "If that mean medium coyote wants something spicy, he's going to get it." Then Little Red poured a whole bottle of her secret hot sauce into the chili pot. Now Little Red's secret sauce was the spiciest hot sauce anyone has ever made. Her sauce was so hot that folks needed sunglasses just to read the label. Her sauce was so hot that it could burn a hole in a hole. She had never put more than a dash of her hot sauce in the chili before, but no one had ever been as mean to her Granny as the coyote had been that day either. So she's going to do something about it. Now, I'm not going to read the rest of the story because it is in reading it easy for you, but I want to show you what you have to do, okay? So we are going to compare stories, and what better way to compare than by using a Venn diagram. Remember, a Venn diagram is when you have two circles, sometimes it's three, but two circles when you compare two things. One circle is to put what's different for one thing, which we're going to use original Little Red Riding Hood. Another circle is to put whatever is different for the other thing, which for us it's Red's secret sauce. Now, in the middle, we put what's similar for both topics. Okay, so I did part of it for you. Let's see what I put for you. So I know in Little Red Riding Hood, the original version, there's a wolf. That's the evil character. In Red's secret sauce, there's a coyote. If I wanted to be more detailed, which is better, I could put the mean medium coyote. Now the setting also. The forest was original Red Riding Hood. Red's secret sauce had southwestern desert. Wolf wants to eat Little Red and her grandma in the original. In our other version, Fox steals food and he wants to steal what's in Red's basket, which is the hot chili. Now let's see what's in the middle for both. Something similar they have, Little Red Riding Hood. Another thing that's similar is Red visits Grandma because she is sick. Okay, your turn. So go to reading A to Z and finish reading Little Red's Secret Sauce. It's under your assignments. 2. Use what you learned today and finish the Venn diagram on our 2 Little Red Riding Hood versions. It's in Canvas, Reading Week 6, Wednesday. 3. Click the link in Canvas and insert your text boxes using the Google Slides to add in your text where it goes. Now, I'm going to show you really quick how to do that. So if I'm here, this is what you're just going to look like. I go to Insert, Text Box, and then I can just type whatever I need to type. Okay? Once you need another one, you go to Insert, Text Box, you put it where it needs to go, and you just type. All right? And that is all. All right? Make sure you submit it, and I hope you'll have a good week. Love you guys. Be safe. Bye.